Welcome to the Deep Dive by Graphic Briefing. It's August 23, 2025. Global events are moving fast, as always. Here, we go beyond the headlines to really understand the currents shaping our world, and importantly, how they might affect your life. Our mission today is to unpack a stack of crucial global news, pull out the most important insights, and explore the potential ripple effects. And it really is a diverse stack today. We're covering everything from trade policy in North America to a heartbreaking humanitarian crisis in Gaza and a significant geopolitical move in the South Caucasus. The key to understanding these stories, even though they seem so different, is how interconnected they are, subtly influencing each other and the whole global picture. Let's dive in. First, let's kick things off with a North American trade story. News from The Guardian today says Canada is set to drop some counter tariffs on U.S. goods, starting September 1st. This comes after a call between Prime Minister Mark Carney and President Donald Trump. On the surface, it sounds like a step towards cooling things down. But the details are crucial. It's a partial move, not a full retreat. The key detail is what's changing. Some levies on U.S. goods, specifically those that comply with the North American Free Trade Pact, will be removed. But, and this is just as important, tariffs on steel, aluminum, and autos are staying firmly in place. So this isn't a return to how things were before the trade tensions flared up. It feels more like a strategic adjustment. To remind you of the context, Canada had slapped on hefty retaliatory tariffs on about $60 billion worth of American goods. This was a direct response to Trump's earlier tariff plans aimed at boosting U.S. manufacturing jobs. So this partial removal feels calculated. Even with all the global turmoil and U.S. tariffs still hitting key Canadian sectors, Mark Carney made a point of saying that 85% of Canada-U.S. trade is still tariff-free. He said, Canada still has the best trade deal with the United States, and his stated goal is to preserve this unique advantage for Canadian workers and their families. It sounds very pragmatic, trying to keep that vital economic link strong while navigating these tensions. The White House reaction was interesting. They called the move long overdue, but also said Carney's move paves the way for continuing our discussions. That language feels very careful, almost conditional. The U.S. position as Israel's main ally is complex. A Reuters Ipsos poll this week showed 65% of Americans believe the U.S. should help those starving in Gaza. And interestingly, even Donald Trump expressed concern about starvation last month, which puts him somewhat at odds with Netanyahu's denial. This raises a critical question. What are the long-term global consequences of a famine declaration like this? We might see a major reevaluation of how international law handles humanitarian access in conflicts. This could set precedents for future interventions and challenge the existing frameworks of responsibility. For all of us, it underscores how fragile global stability can be and the moral questions that arise when human rights are under such severe threat. This is an ongoing crisis that will challenge international bodies and could even shift the global political landscape in ways we can't fully predict yet. First, the U.S. is seeing a sharp drop in immigration. The immigrant population is down by about 1.4 million, the first drop in 50 years, attributed mostly to stringent Trump-era policies. The impact? We could see labor shortages in certain sectors, altering demographic trends, and maybe even slowing economic growth. For communities, this could mean changes in local economies, school numbers, and social services. What will you be watching for as these stories unfold? Think about how these global shifts could subtly alter the economic opportunities available to you, the stability of places you have investments, or even just your broader sense of security. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive by Graphic Briefing. Stay curious and keep seeking those deeper connections behind the headlines. We'll be here next time to help make sense of it all. Be sure to follow Graphic Briefing on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram for all your news updates.